Hello, everyone. Our devotional for today, September 4, 2020, is entitled Freedom for All, found in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 7, verses 24 to 30. Listen and I will read it to you. Mark chapter 7, verses 24 to 30. Jesus left that place and went to the vicinity of Tyre. He entered the house and did not want anyone to know it. Yet he could not keep his presence secret. In fact, as soon as she heard about him, a woman whose little daughter was possessed by an evil spirit came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek born in Syrian Phoenicia. She begged Jesus to drive the demon out of her daughter. First, let the children eat all they want, he told her, for it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to their dogs. Yes, Lord, she replied. But even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. Then he told her, for such a reply, you may go. The demon has left your daughter. She went home and found her child lying on the bed and the demon gone. Jesus has just been arguing and scolding the Pharisees and Jewish men about purity, yet again about how their focus was more on external practices rather than the internal state of their heart. This is a story that has confused both casual readers and scholars who don't quite know what to make of it or what to make of Jesus, who seems very uncharacteristically harsh. Matthew's version of this event, you found it in Matthew 15, sounds even worse. But let us analyze this for ourselves and pay attention, because everything that happens is relevant to gaining of proper understanding. In verses 24 to 26, Jesus left that place and he withdraws to the notoriously pagan city of Tyre. He goes into Gentile territory where he enters the house. This is a Jewish house with Jewish in it. This is important. His apostles, also Jewish, were present with him. Jesus doesn't want anyone to know that he is there. But people notice. Gentile people notice and seek him out. This is also important. And the woman among them whose daughter has unclean spirit comes and bows before Jesus, thus acknowledging who he is and begging him to help her daughter. Thus, it is contrast with the people Jesus has been arguing with. When Jesus heard the request of this woman, is he using a racist insult answer? Definitely no. He's just stressing that he's been sent first to renew Israel before the blessing spreads to Gentiles. Jesus tells if that the blessing this woman seeks, he uses the metaphor bread are for the Jews, and they need to be fed first before it was thrown to the dogs. He also uses an affectionate word for a pet dog, not the derogatory word for stray dogs that some Jews use for Gentiles. The question is, if you were the woman in the story, how might Jesus' words have made you feel? Here in the Gospel of Mark, the climax of each story is usually what Jesus says, not what is said to him, but not this time. I will read it to you again in verse 28. Yes, Lord, she replied, but even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. The women amazingly are taking no offense and showing remarkable reverence, says, "Yes, Lord," she replied. This unnamed woman or mother is the only person in the whole of Mark to call Jesus Lord. She is also the only person who hears one of Jesus' parables and understands it and answers from inside it. She says, "But even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." In every worldly respect, she's an outsider, but she answers as an insider. And now, one must imagine Jesus looking pointedly at the Jews in the room and raising an eyebrow. Do you understand what had just happened? This woman came on her own, recognizing who he was and seeking blessings. She knew that even a crumb from the table of heaven was all that she needed. Yet, you who are chosen people of God reject the bountiful blessings of what God is offering. Do we recognize the blessings that ours to have? Sometimes we often take for granted what we have, and instead of being grateful, actually shows tremendous ingratitude. Let us reflect on that today. Remember, Jesus extends his rescue to a Gentile. I will read to you this very inspiring prayer of humble access in the Anglican Communion service. We do not presume to come to this your table, merciful Lord, trusting in our own righteousness, but in your manifold and great mercies. We are not worthy so much as to gather up the crumbs under your table. But you are the same Lord whose nature is always to have mercy. God bless us all and hope you are all encouraged.